What did you see out of your Nittlies tonight that you either proud of or did not exceed this early on?
Yeah, so I think obviously with as much offensive changeover as happened up there, there was an expected, kind of dead period where you were going to kind of see they were feeling each other out, blows and blows. I think it was very par for the course for a Big Ten game when it comes to defensive struggles. I think it was like it was 0-0 at halftime. It was 0-0 at halftime. BRYCE, I think, brought up a great point earlier in this conversation about how, college football comes in. Yursich at Penn State comes from a background of up-tempo, get on the ball, let's rip, let's run 110 plays if we can and get going. And I thought one of the things that was interesting seeing early is, they had a nice 3rd and 1 opportunity. They got on the ball. Crowd noise at Camp Randall played a factor. Offsides, miscommunications. So I think it was good. Ultimately, I know that was a point I was just trying to give a little cap tip to BRYCE for that. I think there's an element there. But yeah, I was pleased. I think Penn State definitely left some points out on the field. I think Clifford missed Dotson once or twice deep.
The deep ball,
but ultimately, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just live and die. Yeah. They loosened up in the second half. They started taking shots, but he's off his back foot, either hung it too much. He did get a couple of them. Yeah. But go ahead. But yeah, they did loosen up and they did start throwing haymakers in the second half.
Yeah, the one thing I was pleasantly surprised of, I mentioned this in my other podcast with JP, was Penn State's shift of mindset to their defensive front. They've kind of gone to a more athletic front, not as big as it was traditionally. I mean, we had guys like Austin Johnson and Daquan Jones when I was there who were big guys playing that nose and 3-tech. They just kind of went to more of a field to try and run with Ohio State, East and West, and keep it up. And that's what I was scared of heading into the game with Wisconsin being as big as they were up front and such a focus on running the football downhill. I thought the defense played very, very well. And then to Clifford's
point, buying that defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think Brandon Smith, give a shout out to a kid, Louisa County, grew up the county next to me where I grew up in Fluvanna. I think that kid's an absolute freak show, 6'5", can play east to west. But without getting on a tangent, I thought defensively they showed up. I thought they did some things that give them a lot of kudos heading into the Big Ten schedule and the meat of that. And then, offensively, although they left some points on the board, they did enough to get it done. They didn't necessarily hurt themselves. I think that's a theme of week 1, week 0. Can teams execute and win the game? A win's a win's a win's a win. To BRYCE's point about Oklahoma moving forward. So really proud of how they showed out and battled through that. And at the end of the day, won the last 7 against Wisconsin. I know Barstool Big Cat was up on them boys up there in Madison, but them Nittany Lions showed up tonight. So
to your point, Hack,
excited about it.
To your point about the change in mindset of how you play your front four, how you recruit the front four, how you build up front. It took me right back to that Moneyball movie. You guys have seen Moneyball with Bryce. I mean, shit. Why would I say Bryce?
It's fine. I get called Brad Pitt all the time. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how many times.
Go ahead. I'm gonna get a lot for that. I'm gonna get a lot. Thank you. I'm gonna get a lot for that. So send it my way. Certainly not Bryce Petty. Moneyball with Brad Pitt, Trevor. Moneyball with Brad Pitt. He's going back and forth to the scouting department, and then finally clash. And they ask him, "Why are you going analytics?" And he says, "Adapt or die." Like really, truly. And I'm sure we could have pulled that from a scientific reference, but Moneyball is cooler. Trevor Knight on we watch games 3 nights, 4 nights. Heavyweights coming out as heavyweights get knocked out. Heavyweights crawling out of the ring, just escaping. How big a win is this for a Penn State team with so much veteran leadership coming back? Game 1, travel up to Wisconsin, equal to a rival. And we know how physical that they touted this as the biggest, greatest, heaviest offensive line they've had. How much momentum is this for a Nittany team that didn't have this type of response last year in their opener? And they're looking at a wide open Big Ten, to the exception of what happens in Columbus. How much boost is this to go 12 rounds, get the win, and come home?
Well, again, it's that foundation that they're building for the rest of their season, right? And it was fun for me to watch. I'll say that. Me and Bryce, we played down in the Big 12. We don't have the defense that Hack had to go up against every year. I never seen a guy as big as some of those guys in the front seven of any of those teams. So it was fun brand of football to watch, right? Now, we were all texting during the game. Wisconsin's got some cats, man. Wisconsin has got some dudes that are going to put up big numbers this year. I think they're going to win a lot of football games. I mean, for one guy, Ches Melusi, is that how you say it? Ches Melusi, the running back for Wisconsin. That dude was pounding the rock and pounding the rock.
Clemson transfer. Clemson
Dagan, let's see that.
Absolutely.
Dagan Hughes
you
is
watch
our
that
producer.
guy and the way he's running. Tip of the cap, like you said, Hack, to the Penn State defense, man, for holding these guys to as few points as they had. It was a fun brand of football to watch. I think both of these teams are going to have very successful years, but certainly a very big foundational game for the Nittany Lions.
Trevor, let's go. Dagan, can you put the stats back up? Trevor, go ahead and walk through. 31 carries is a day. 31 that's carries. That's a day. That's not catching screens and getting a couple calls. It's on your shoulders. Look at the effort there by your guy there, Ches. I would tip my cap on Ches. And then can we talk about the very opportunities, even though he cashed them in. He only 5 catches and only a handful more touches for Jahan Dotson. He's got to see more touches, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anytime that you're touching the ball that many times, he's going to wake up tomorrow and he's going to go straight to the cold tub, right? I mean, he went through not only 1 but 30 little car wrecks throughout that game. Right. But to get 121 yards against a defense like that, I mean, he was pounding the rock up and down the field. Again, to only get 10 points out of that is a tip of the cap, and hats off to that defense up there at Penn State.